All right, guys, let's take a look at a limited edition Laco Flieger. This is a Toppers edition. So before we do that, though, I want to show you the box real quick because it is such a large presentation of this watch. So obviously it comes in a cardboard box. So I removed that. That's pretty basic. But this wood box is pretty cool with a nice little chrome button here. You push that open, and then, of course, you have a padded inside, Laco 1925. Nice hinges. Those are like the same hinges that are on my main watch box. If you're looking at watch boxes, just a little tip, you want this hinge style is what you want. That's going to be a lot better quality opening and closing. This is where the watch goes, and then I'm not sure, maybe a plaque or something went there. There's nothing underneath here. I bought this one secondhand. I bought it used from a reputable seller off from Watch You Seek, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where I got it from. So when these first came out, though, it was on Toppers Jewelry. I'll put a link to this watch on their website, which is sold out. So again, I'm showing you a watch you can't get. Sorry. But when it did come out, it was early 2020, and there's only 100 of them. This is number 90 of 100. They are actually individually numbered on the case back. I'll show that in a moment. And the retail price on them was $18.95. Well, I got a deal on this one because I bought it secondhand, and the seller was just trying to move it. Typically, dive watches do better on the secondary market, other than, there's some exceptions to that. But a lot of times watches like this won't necessarily hold their value even in a limited edition status. But again, it just depends on the buyer and the seller and the timing of everything. So just a little sidebar conversation, I suppose. But let's get into the case size on this because it is a little bit bigger. Plus, it's the white dial, which I prefer white dial watches, but they also are going to present larger on wrist, especially white dial and no dive bezel, so it's going to look big. 42.5 millimeter case on this guy, 49.5 lug to lug. You can see that really nicely done, signed, just beautiful done crown. That is a 7.5 millimeter crown. The thickness of this is only 10.5. I think there's just a super slight double dome to the crystal. But 10.5 millimeter thick, 22 millimeter lug width. Comes on this really nice high quality leather. That's what I've been wearing it on, and it wears great. The original owner that I picked it up from sent it over with a blue NATO strap. I think he wore it on the blue NATO strap. The reason he did that is because look at those indices and the handset. I'll try to do a close-up and get a better look at that, but they are all thermally blued. So him putting that blue NATO on there tied it in nicely. Right here is why I was interested in it. Besides the fact that it's a limited edition, this is a manual wind watch, and it's using the ETA 6498 because the small seconds is at 6. So that's why you have a 6498. 17 jewels, Swiss made. The watch is made in Germany, but the movement's a Swiss-made movement, and they did put the Laco branding on one of the gears. So you can see it just, without that automatic rotor in the way, this is why me and many other watch fans like the manual wind movements, is because you get an unobstructed view of the gears and the spinny bits. Now, there are some other fancier versions of these where they skeletonize even these plates, and they'll have them bridged over so they can be supported for the jewels and everything, and then you get even more visual effect. Maybe one day I'll get one of those in. I would be excited to see some more of that, whether it's a 6498 or 6497, but have it skeletonized with some custom work done on the plates and the gears and everything. You'd have a swan neck regulator and all that. Those are higher end movements. They cost more money, but they are just beautiful to look at. So I believe this is a sapphire case back as well as a sapphire front, but you can see applied indices, thermally heat treated blued, nice large sword handset reaching all the way out to the end, printed on Arabics, and then of course you have the Phineas and Ferb platypus guy there, or sorry, the two dots with a triangle. I don't know. I always think it looks like the platypus from Phineas and Ferb. And then even the small seconds is a thermally blued hand. And it's a non-hacking movement, non-screw down crown. You're just going to wind it in that first position. So in this first position, you just wind it. You just give it a few turns each day, and it'll keep it running. But just a beautifully executed watch. On top of that, being that, where did we see that around the case back there? Right there. Topper's edition number 90 of 100. Love seeing that on limited edition watches when they're actually numbered. Sometimes there's brands out there that will do the numbering right on the dial too. That's pretty cool too, but case back is fine. I don't have a problem with that. So the printing of the Arabics and the loom on the hands is all going to be BGW9. So it's also going to have that really bright white look on the dial, but then it's also going to be a really nice cool blue loom, and I'll show you that in a moment. Here it is on my 7 1/4. Like I said, it is a 42.5 millimeter, but it also has that really big dial, so it wears big, presents big. It's a thinner watch, and it's extremely comfortable and not too heavy. You know, it's still a stainless steel watch, so you do have a little bit of weight, but it's not heavy or anything. So I've enjoyed wearing it. I've wore it for like 3 or 4 days straight. It's running a little fast, not too bad, but these are easy to regulate too. So, but I'm not too worried about it. It's pretty easy to adjust, not a big deal. All right, let's, just for a size comparison, well, here, I'll just show it next to the Monster. I already have the Monster out here. Just for a size comparison so you can see what the big difference is when, just going from a diver to a Flieger. So there are some really good 40 millimeter Fliegers out there too. So if a 42.5 doesn't work, it's just too big for your wrist, there are some really good 40 millimeter ones out there. Stova, Turby, I think it is. I'd like to get in one of their watches. They have some good 40 millimeter ones, and they're still using the manual line movements in some of those. So you still really get the total package, just in a smaller package, so it might work on your wrist a little bit better than this one does. This one works fine for me. I like the larger size on it. But there you have a look at the loom. And there's plenty of it. I mean, I can even see the small seconds hand. As little real estate there is on that, I can still actually see it. But total package, I think, really. Manual line, white dial, limited edition, good loom. It's, I don't know. I really can't ask for any more. What do you guys think? Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next vid.